Hi, my name is Ames. I use they, them pronouns. I'm non-binary. When I was 4, me and my friends were playing house, and we had a dad and a daughter and a son, but we didn't have a mom. So, with some hesitation, I said, I'll be the mom. And my friends got really quiet, and my one friend, she said, you can be the dog. And so I was. I was a good dog. And I have this question that always kind of knocks around my head about that event. And the question is, did I volunteer to be the mom to defy societal expectations? Or because, deep down, I knew I wasn't a boy? When I try to remember, I remember both. We need a more human concept of gender. American society has conflated the internal experience of gender with a social construction of gender. This conflation has caused unnecessary division, confusion, toxicity, and dehumanization. Umbrella terms like non-binary can help you and I and our whole society better treat each other as human beings. Talking about gender is hard. It is, for all the reasons I'm about to go into. And since it's hard, it requires honesty. So, here's my first confession. I used to think men are evil. I hated that part of me. I thought men are aggressive, men are creepy, men are violent, men are what's wrong with the world. It's not hard to see why, right? Men control our media, our resources, our land, our politics, our laws, our bodies, our lives. To be a man in America and many other parts of the world is to have a level of financial opportunity and respect that the rest of us may only dream of. Now, my caveat here is that white men have a hugely disproportionate amount of resource control in this world. Straight and cis men have advantages over queer, trans, and gay men, and able-bodied and neurotypical men have advantages over neurodivergent and disabled men. So to say men is really broad, but useful when we're talking about abuses of patriarchy, as long as we keep racism, queerphobia, and ableism in our minds. So, I thought men are evil, and so am I. Here's the danger. When you say, I'm a monster, you become a monster. That defeatist view that there's just something wrong with men means there can be no accountability and no healing in this world. I do not believe there is anything inherent to manhood that makes a man more aggressive, more violent, more evil. When someone is creepy or aggressive, it comes from selfishness and an abuse of power. That power is gifted to men by men through financial, social, and cultural means. Abuse is taught. It can be diluted through jokes and songs and justifications, but there's nothing inherent to manhood. It means you must abuse your social power. Whether you abuse your power reflects only on who you are and your respect of others. Since birth, I was positioned in a place of power. When I've spoken, my opinions have been listened to. I was taught that I deserve sex and love just for being nice. And I've rarely been made to feel unsafe because of my gender. Because of these toxic social realities, it's been very hard to piece apart in myself the discomfort of being positioned as a man and the real experience of not being a man at all. See, it wasn't just self-hatred because I had to hide all the true feminine parts of who I am. It was self-hatred at embodying patriarchy because even if I were a man, I would be trapped in a system that gave me unnecessary advantage and power. It takes moral strength not to abuse your power and to give it away to others. One thing I admire about the wonderful men in my life is how they find their humanity and their capacity for good in a society that tells them they can treat others however they want, with little or no consequence. So, I mistook the outer system of patriarchy for an inner manhood of evil. Here's my second confession. I used to think women are perfect. Beauty, wisdom, serenity, kindness, strength. To me, these were all feminine qualities. I had a burning desire for the company, the validation, and the love of women. I understood that women are objectified by our society. In fact, I was jealous. I thought, I don't get to be pretty. I don't get to be attractive. I only get one outfit, and it's a graphic tee and jeans. No, seriously, I only thought you get one outfit. Almost one. Anyway, here's the danger. When you say someone is perfect, you're not seeing them as a human being. It's just a more elaborate form of objectification. See, I was completely ignoring the inherent suffering of not being taken seriously, being made to feel unsafe, being constantly judged and scrutinized and valued based on your appearance, your body. In fact, I was perpetuating all of these realities by buying into this ridiculous man evil, woman good binary. In fact, I was perpetuating all of these systems by buying into this ridiculous man evil, woman good binary. What did I want? I wanted women to save me, to heal me, to make me whole. And that is dehumanizing labor. Women are not saviors. They're human beings who possess strength, beauty, wisdom, and kindness, and who are just as misguided and bewildered as the rest of us living creatures. But the point is that all the humanity that a woman owns and experiences and expresses may never be recognized by the society they live in. So, I mistook the outer system of objectification and the need for women to solve men's problems for an inner womanhood of perfection. One thing I admire about all the wonderful women in my life is how strongly they hold on to their humanity in a society that treats them like objects. And of course, I have a great deal of respect for all the people like me who have to navigate the space in between, and for the people like me who have to find a home in a gender they weren't assigned at birth. So, to recap, in my life, the patriarchal use of gender roles to unevenly distribute humanity and power in a man-woman binary has brought out the worst in who I am. This binary has made me feel trapped, has brought out toxicity I am only starting to dissolve, and has obscured my true gender identity. What is that true gender identity? About a year ago, I came out as non-binary, and here's how I did it. They smile, they walk, they dance their life, they love, they do their me. They look pretty in that dress, they're handsome in a suit, like the ocean showing up the sky, they're beautiful like the stars they're made from. I'm Ames, the one you've always known, the kid who's finally grown into the beauty that I am. I finally believe me. In the mirror I can see me for the first time. I'm Ames. A very earnest performance. But what am I performing? I'm not performing social gender, a gender role. I am allowing insight into a deep internal struggle for self-acceptance, directly related to my experience of gender. And since I'm arguing that gender is a real internal experience, I think it's important to try to describe mine. So how about this? I found a place where I can feel manhood and womanhood as simultaneous energies, feelings. A place where I can feel powerful in a dress and soft in a baggy sweater, where whether my mirror tells me I'm a radiant sun goddess or an androgynous punk rebel or an exquisite mass of flesh, I can still be myself. You'll notice a lot of this experience has to do with how I see myself and how much that self-image matches the internal sense of who and what I am. So, this rightness, this sense of harmony between inner and outer, is to me a more powerful use of gender than to assign social clout. But what happens when this harmony is thrown out of balance? Well, I can tell you, as a non-binary person, I feel that imbalance every day. I get misgendered at least once a day, usually more, by friends and strangers. It makes sense, right? Most of us have been taught by an American society based on the European model of racism and patriarchy to immediately sort people on sight into man or woman. But it's so dehumanizing to have to fight every single day just to be seen. And yet, I am seen by friends and strangers. And now I have this word, non-binary, which helps others see me and treat me as a human being, and helps me see and be and love myself more deeply, too. Many people find the same harmony through words like gender nonconforming, genderqueer, transgender, or agender to describe experiences across the gender map. Since my harmonious word, for now, is non-binary, that's what I'm focusing on. Non-binary is an umbrella term. It does not describe my specific experience of harmony. It describes a whole range of human experiences not communicated by the words man or woman. Man and woman are also umbrella terms. They should serve the same function, to communicate something generally about who you are. But because of patriarchy, gender categories also group people based on experience. Women in the same space may feel a connection over shared experiences of being treated as women. Same goes for men, same goes for non-binary people. And that's important, right? A woman might only feel safe in a space with other women. Men need to have conversations with other men about how to diffuse power, how to treat women and queer people better, how to support each other, and how to call each other out. So in this case, the social construction of gender is healing. So which is it? Do we need a social construction of gender, or is it poisoning us? Here's what I truly believe. Everyone's gender is different. No two of us have the same internal, psychological, or spiritual lives. And yet, all our different experiences are equal. And we are all still human. We use umbrella social categories like man, woman, non-binary, transgender to describe our experiences, to bond together, to better understand the humanity of ourselves and others. But when those categories tell us who we have to be, how much power and respect we get in the world, we become broken. We need a more human, more equal concept of gender. We need to realize that there is nothing inherent to manhood or womanhood or any other gender identity that makes us more or less evil, more or less desirable, more or less capable, more or less human. I like the term non-binary. That's what I am. My gender is not one thing or another. It is some mixture, combination, or absence of the two. My gender is still real, still valid. And despite the fact that I've done a whole TED Talk about it, it's not even that big a deal. The only reason my gender as an outer expression matters is because in the original Eurocentric, patriarchal construction of this society, there was no place for me. So now I and other trans people and other non-binary people have to make a place for ourselves. We have to build it with our power and our creativity and our community and our love. You need to respect us. You need to challenge what you've been taught about gender. Just ask yourself these questions. What do I assume about other people based on gender? What do I assume about myself based on gender? Where did I learn these assumptions? And how can I better treat all people as human beings? We cannot sustain a system of assigning humanity and power based on something as misguided as patriarchy. We cannot survive if all the human potential of women and trans and gender nonconforming and non-binary people, especially people of color, is wasted, ignored, or stolen. When I was 4, and I volunteered to be the mom when we played house, I was doing 2 things at once. I was running towards a gender identity that better fit me as a human being, and I was challenging the role I was cast in by society. Or I tried to. It's taken me 21 years, but now I never play a dog. Thank you.